Welcome back to Mecha Encyclopedia. It's been a while. When was the last time I even did one of these? Oh. A long time coming, I'd say. Though with recent DMCA issues, among other things, I had to restructure the series, so here we are. Moving forward, I'd like the series to be a good overall explanation for the featured mecha, and not totally restricted to Super Robot Wars like before. Though Super Robot Wars will be a good vehicle for its explanation. Much of the background footage will still be from Super Robot Wars, since using footage from the actual show itself will most likely get me flagged for copyright. Fair use be damned. Anyway, for this video, we'll be going over the original 7 mechs from GunXSword. In addition to the Mecha Encyclopedia entries for each one from Super Robot Wars 30, I'll be going over some of the more detailed aspects from the show itself. I won't be going as in-depth with the pilots, but I will throw in major information about them if related to their mecha. Also, mild spoilers for the series coming up, so beware. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Before we get started with each individual unit, I'd like to go over some of the recurring design aspects and other related lore. For starters, all mecha in GunXSword are referred to as armors, and their pilots armor riders. Armors that are not one of the original 7 are referred to as replicas, probably hinting that these 7 units are, as the name implies, the original and first armors to be made. The original 7 units and their satellites, which orbit the planet and house the mechs when not used, are special, in that they aren't built on the planet of Endless Illusion, but instead, Earth, before its downfall anyway. As Endless Illusion is a prison planet, the original 7 mechs were made to keep the peace, as essentially wardens. The original armor riders for the 7 have been long gone due to corruption, with Gadved being the only remaining member of the previous generation. He went on to recruit new members for the Claw, referred to as the Neo-Originals. Some of these armor riders required reconstructive surgery to pilot one of the original 7 mechs. However, the surgery is not necessary if the pilot has a natural-born affinity for piloting. I'll note which pilots needed it or not as we go through them. As for the satellites, each mech can be summoned from them and sent to them to dock whenever needed. They even undergo automatic repairs while docked. The original 7 units and their satellites all have this bluish-black liquid called GER fluid that runs through them, and it's kinda like their blood. The cockpit is also full of it, and some pilot injuries can be healed when connected to it, though it isn't totally clear if all of them have this ability, but Gadved mentioned Dann's healing ability specifically. The GER fluid also acts as a neural input, allowing the pilot to control their armor in an extension of their body kind of way, foregoing traditional control methods. This fluid will also turn into a bright white in the cockpit when the pilot is especially in tune with their armor. Each unit has a specific weapon motif associated with them, with the same kind of weapon being used by the pilots as their own personal weapon, as well as the summoning tool and control interface as it were. When summoned, the armor stays in the shape of the weapon until landing, at which point it will turn into its humanoid form. I'll go over each weapon as we go through the units. The naming for the original 7 units is interesting. They have a designated day of the week, along with a word generally from a different language or some other associated theme, each of which I will go over. And lastly, all of the original 7 machines, and most armors in the anime actually, stand between about 19 and 31 meters tall, making them relatively the same size. And that should be it for the preamble, so let's get into the original 7 units, starting with the Diablo of Monday. Diablo, meaning devil in Spanish, and Monday being its designation. The Mecha Encyclopedia reads, one of the original 7, its staggering might earned it a reputation as the 7's most destructive unit. It wields a gargantuan axe to match its design motif. Unlike the other original 7 machines in the organization, it has no additional weaponry and is specialized solely for close combat. Diablo of Monday stands at 21.7 meters tall. Its design motif is that of a large axe. It also uses an axe as its primary weapon, and takes the form of one when docked in its satellite. It is one of the more physically powerful machines in the series, and was able to overpower the Dann of Thursday in their fight. Its armor rider is Gadved, one of the original 7 members. Gadved underwent the reconstructive surgery to bond with Diablo of Monday. He summons and controls Diablo of Monday with his axe, which is made of the same morphable material as the other original 7 weapons. Diablo of Monday was the first of the original 7 to be felled by Van at Zonnet Junction. Next up is the Metsa of Tuesday. Metsa meaning forest in Finnish, and Tuesday being its designation. The Mecha Encyclopedia reads, one of the original 7, designed with a rapier motif, it makes up in speed what it lacks in defense and raw power, with the skills of its pilot greatly affecting its performance on the battlefield. Like the other original 7 machines in the organization, it has been equipped with additional weaponry to bolster its original firepower. Metsa of Tuesday stands at 29.2 meters tall. Its design motif is that of a rapier, which is also its primary weapon. However, it takes the form of a lance when docked, likely attributing to a knightly theme overall. It doesn't have as much raw power as the other original 7 mechs, but it makes up for it in pure speed and additional weaponry, having been modified with a pair of energy cannons. Its armor rider is William Will Wu, one of the Neo original members. Wu did not require reconstructive surgery to pilot the Metsa. He summons and controls Metsa of Tuesday with his rapier, which is made of the same morphable material as the other original 7 weapons. Metsa has a unique trait in that it's able to stay active for days without needing to dock at its satellite. Metsa is the second original 7 mech to fall to Dann at Wu's family castle. Next we have Dahlia of Wednesday, Dahlia being a type of flower, and Wednesday being its designation. The Mecha Encyclopedia reads, one of the original 7. Developed with the goal of capturing insurgents, it can use GER fluid as an adhesive solution to slow down targets before restraining them with its tentacles. Dahlia's design motif is that of a 3-section staff. Like the other original 7 machines in the organization, it has been equipped with additional weaponry to bolster its original firepower. Dahlia of Wednesday stands at 31 meters tall, making it the tallest of the original 7 mechs. Its design motif is that of a staff, which is also its primary weapon, and is able to extend and segment when attacking. It also takes the form of one when docked. It is rather agile for its size, and like some of the other original 7, has been modified with additional weaponry, such as energy cannons and missiles. It is one of the 3 units with a unique armor color, being a shade of pink. It also has the ability to manipulate its GER fluid in unique ways, such as shooting it out to inhibit targets by solidifying on contact, or creating tendrils to attack. Its armor rider is Fasalina, one of the Neo original members. She underwent the reconstructive surgery to pilot Dahlia. She summons and controls Dahlia of Wednesday with her staff, which is made of the same morphable material as the other original 7 weapons. Dahlia has a unique trait of being able to camouflage to evade or ambush enemies. Dahlia is also the final original 7 unit to be shown in the series. Dahlia is destroyed by Ray and his Volcane, and is the 5th original 7 mech to be downed, though Fasalina survived the encounter and left Dahlia behind. Now on to Dann of Thursday, our main character's mech. Dann meaning then in German, however it also means judge, or God is my judge in Hebrew, which could allude to Dann's final attack, God's judgment, Thursday being its designation. The Mecha Encyclopedia reads, an armor shrouded in many mysteries. It answers the summons of its pilot, Dann, descending from the heavens in the form of a giant sword. Its massive blade can split into a long sword and a short sword, which it uses in a wide variety of attacks. Dann of Thursday stands at 24.8 meters tall. Its design motif is that of a sword, which is also its primary weapon that can separate into a long and short blade. It also takes the form of one when docked. Dann is considered the most balanced of the original 7 machines, with Dann's skill as an armor rider being the biggest factor in battles, especially since it is melee focused. Like Diablo of Monday, it has not been modified with additional weaponry. Its armor rider is Dann, the only original 7 pilot not with the organization. Dann underwent the reconstructive surgery, not to explicitly be able to pilot Dann, but to save his life by bonding with it. It's hinted that he didn't even need the surgery to pilot Dann effectively. As Dann and Dann grew throughout the series, Dann was able to become fully in tune with Dann after solving the armor implant interface puzzle. That's the YII ability he has in-game, vastly improving his control and granting him a shield. He also gains the overflow ability, being able to bypass Dann's previous limits and spike its power through his neuroelectricity, amplifying along with his emotions, and create a giant sword of GER fluid to attack with. He summons and controls Dann of Thursday with his sword, which is made of the same morphable material as the other original 7 weapons. Dann has the unique trait of instantly healing injuries or illnesses Dann has once he's in the cockpit. Near the end of the series, Saudade of Sunday destroys Dann's satellite. However, Dann ends up using Diablos instead to recover, though it gets destroyed too. Since Dann is still around after the end of the series, he's using one of the other remaining satellites, but it isn't stated which one. Dann is symbiotically connected with Dann, so must interface with it at least once a week or else he will die. The next entry is actually the next 2 in one because of the combining factor, so I'll go over them at the same time. Not actually sure what the sin or sen are supposed to mean, so leave a comment if you know, and their designations are Friday and Saturday. The Mecha Encyclopedia reads, the combined form of the original 7's Sin of Friday and Sen of Saturday. Both armors were designed to support each other on the battlefield. Sin sports a tonfa motif, while Sen is modeled after a chakram. The combination mechanism was added by the Claws organization after the fact. and only realized through the high-level mental synchronization of the twin pilots, Carossa and Melissa. The combined form of Sin of Friday and Sin of Saturday stands at 19.4 meters, making it the shortest of the original 7 machines. It is more animalistic in structure, being hunched over and having a tail. Sin's design motif is that of a tonfa, while Sin's is that of a chakram. They take the form of these weapons when docked. Sen is one of the 3 units with a unique armor color, being the same pale gold as Saudade of Sunday. Sin and Sen differ from the other original 7 units in that it has a combination mechanism, added by the Claws organization specifically for Carossa and Melissa, and can easily separate when needed. Sin of Friday's armor rider is Carossa, with Sen of Saturday's armor rider being his twin sister Melissa. Both are Neo-Original 7 members. They did not require the reconstructive surgery, however they were most likely genetically engineered to be able to pilot them in the first place, being part of Project Carossa. Since they are twins, their familial bond is what likely makes their combination so effective, making them perfectly in sync. Carossa summons and controls Sin of Friday with his tonfa, while Melissa controls and summons Sen with her chakram. They are both made of the same morphable material as the other original 7 weapons. Sin is the more aggressive of the two, opting for close quarters fighting, while Sen attacks from a range. When combined, Sen is located in the inner lower section to be protected by the bigger Sin. Sin and Sen are the 3rd and 4th original 7 armors to be dealt with by Dann and company. Now for our last entry, Saudade of Sunday. Saudade, meaning a feeling of longing or nostalgia, and Sunday being its designation. The Mecha Encyclopedia reads, one of the original 7, Saudade is capable of activating and controlling the prison planet destroyer, making it key to the Claw's plan. Flight capable while in its humanoid configuration, Saudade can reach the vacuum of space without assistance. It features a bayonet design motif. Like the other original 7 machines in the organization, it has been equipped with additional weaponry to bolster its original firepower. Saudade of Sunday stands at 26.8 meters tall. Its design motif is that of a bayonet, with its primary weapon being a gun that fires energy beams with bayonets attached. It is one of the 3 units with a unique armor color, being a pale gold. Saudade differs from the other original 7 machines in that it does not have a satellite to dock with and heal. It was recovered from a seabed in a giant coffin. It has large wings that function as solar panels to restore energy and allow flight. Its armor rider is Michael Garret, Wendy's older brother who she has been searching for the entire series, and is a Neo-Original member. Michael did not require the reconstructive surgery to pilot Saudade and was even able to fully bond with it. Saudade is a crucial part of the Claw's plan, being able to interface with the prison planet destroyer. Saudade, along with Dann, are the only 2 armors in the series that are shown in space, even engaging in combat briefly. It is the 6th and final original 7 armor dealt with by Dann and company. And there we have the original 7 armors from GunXSword explained. I was going to add the entries from Super Robot Wars T also, but they were largely the same, with minor changes to wording. In addition to having watched the anime a few times, I researched the wikis and Super Robot Wars 30 had some more context, so let me know if I missed any other details with the units. Also, let me know if you enjoyed the change-up to the Mecha Encyclopedia series. I'm currently working on a Super Robot Wars V retrospective video, and I hope to get it done by the end of the year, but it's getting pretty close, so we'll see. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to be notified when that goes up, along with many other mecha-related content. Thank you for watching, happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.